first grade, we're going to do math lesson 114. Math lesson 114. So if you have already done your class fact practice 114, that was to be 2.5 minutes because that's how much it would be for our assessment. 2.5 minutes, you're counting by fives, doing multiplication, okay? So if you've done that, let's go ahead and take a look at math lesson 114, where we're going to talk about identify. Remember, identify means when you see it, you know it. You know it when you see it. Identifying right angles, okay? So if I hold up a regular piece of paper, like this blue piece of paper right here, what shape is this piece of paper? Yeah, it's a rectangle, isn't it? This piece of paper is a rectangle. And how many angles does this rectangle have? Yeah, remember, angle is the math word for corner. So how many corners does this paper have? 4, that's right. 1 angle, 2 angles, 3 angles, 4. That's right, 4 angles. Now, mathematicians have a special name for angles that look like this, okay? It's called a right angle. And we can turn this angle in any direction, and they're still called a right angle. He can look like this. He can look like the letter L. Well, he always looks like the letter L. If he looks like the letter L, he can be the letter L like that, or 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 that. But he's always a right angle. The letter L is a right angle. If I were to take that corner and trace it, what letter do I get? The letter L. So if you see the letter L, that is a right angle, and it can be turned in any direction. Kind of to look like a V, maybe to look like a backwards L, maybe to look like an upside down backwards L, maybe to look like an arrow pointing up, maybe to look kind of like a hangman game waiting to happen. So this is a right angle no matter the direction that he faces. Now, mathematicians also use, if you can see, all of these are, that's right, there's the letter L, and he can point down, he can point up, he can point left, he can point right, he can do all of these things, and they are all still right angles. Now, one way that mathematicians use a special symbol to show that an angle is a right angle. They draw a small square. They draw a small square in the corner of a right angle, like this. That's a right angle. I'll draw a small square. Oh, the pen is not my friend. See that? Let me zoom in just a little bit. There we go. This is also a right angle, so I make a little square there. This is a right angle, so I make a small square there. Guess what? These are all right angles, so I use the right angle symbol. Say it with me. The right angle symbol is to draw a small square, and you can check to see if a right angle is a right angle by using a corner of a piece of paper. I have a pink sticky note here, and if I'm not sure, I can hold it in there. Does it match exactly? Yes. What about this one? Let me slide it in. Does it match exactly? Yes. So that's a right angle. So I know that a corner is a right angle. So if I ever am not sure I can slide it in and double check. Okay, so that is a right angle. You can use a piece of paper as a right angle checker. Okay, now you also have in this lesson these little mini geo boards. All right, now you don't have geo boards at home. But we're going to work a little bit with a geoboard to make some right angle shapes, okay? Or rather shapes with right angles. So imagine you did have your geoboard, okay? And I asked you to make a square on your geoboard. If you're going to make a square on your geoboard, remember that's equal sides. Practicing geo safety. Did you see me put my finger there so it doesn't pop? 1, 2, 3, 4. A square means he has to be 4 across. How many is he going to be down? That's right. Equal sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've made a square. Okay? Now, if I make a square on my geoboard and I take my corner, do you think this has right angles? Yeah, squares have right angles. I can slide my paper in, my right angle checker. Yep, right angle checker. Let's see. So how many right angles does this shape have? That's right, this has 4 right angles. So we're going to draw a picture of the square on your first geoboard. You know what? You can make it whatever size you like. But can you draw a square on the geo board? Okay, draw a square on your first geo board. I'm going to go ahead and copy the one I had, which was 4 by 4 by 4 by 4. If you made yours bigger or smaller or in the middle or to the right, no worries. But there should be a square in your first box. Now, we're also going to practice the special symbol that shows an angle is a right angle, okay? So we're going to put the little corners in each corner. I mean the little squares, see? That was a right angle. Remember, I already checked them. That's a right angle. That's a right angle. And that's a right angle. So all the right angles I have marked, okay? Can you make a rectangle on the geoboard? You can draw one. I'll show you one if you are wondering. Remember, long sides and that are, what are those called? Woo, woo, train tracks. Who remembers? That's right, parallel, parallel. It has 2 parallel lines and 2 more parallel lines. Who remembers what parallel means? Okay, you remember? Parallel, train tracks. Woo, woo, train tracks. Woo, woo. Yes, that they have 2 lines that run side by side, the same distance. They never get closer or farther. Same distance, like a train track, and they never crash into each other. So they're going to go all the way forever and ever, side by side, never crash. Parallel. Woo, woo. Okay, now let's draw a rectangle in box number 2, and you may draw it however you like. My rectangle is right there. Where's your rectangle? All right, let's do a right angle check. Get your piece of paper or a little sticky note. Okay, and pretend that I made a straight line, and that would be a right angle. I can check this. Oh, yeah. Right angle over here. Right angle. Right angle. Okay? All right, now, this time, we're going to try, well, let's see. I do have this rectangle. And if I just picked up one of the corners, wait, let me practice geo-safety. See, my thumb's holding it. If I pick up one of the corners, what have I made now? That's right, I have made a triangle. Tri means three, angle means corner. A triangle has three corners, that's right. But I wonder how many right angles this triangle has, okay? So here's one of my angles or one of my corners. If I slide it in, does this match? Does this go straight across and straight up? No. So is that a right angle? It is not. All right, here I have another angle or corner. Let me slide it in. This angle needs to go straight up and straight across. Does it? No. Or what if I try and match it here? He would need to go straight up and over here. Does he do that? No. So this is not a right angle. This is not a right angle. What about this corner or angle? Aha! I do have one right angle. So I'm going to draw this. I know it's a little hard because you do not have geo boards or geo bands, but I hope you're understanding that if it doesn't fit a corner, it's not a right angle. And remember, we only found one right angle, and it's right there. So I'm going to give it its special, okay, its special mark or label. All right, in number 4, you may choose a shape that you like and draw it. But you will also need to check it. Use a little piece of paper or a little sticky note, anything with a right angle corner, to check it and mark all your right angles. Okay, that is, go ahead and do that for lesson 114, lesson worksheet 114, where we're practicing right angles. Okay, a right angle, again, remember, means it's the letter L, and it doesn't matter which way he goes. He can point up, he can point down. He can be an L, he can be an upside down L. He can be a backwards L. He can be an upside down backwards L. He can almost look like a baseball field, right? But if a piece of paper fits, he is a right angle. He is a right angle, okay? Now, for the worksheet for 114, let's see if there's anything that will help us practice the right angle. Ah, there sure is. Here, you'll do measuring, do number 1. Oh, here's what we practiced in lesson 113. Use the tally marks and you can see this graph counts by 2, 0, 2, 4, 6. So you're going to take the tally marks and their information and put them on the graph. Okay, here's a little fraction practice. Oh, maybe those are brownie pans or Rice Krispie treats. How many did you eat? And here is where we're going to talk about right angles on number 4. Here they tell you, remember, to use a corner of a piece of paper to check the angles. How many right angles are there? A right angle means our corner fits exactly. He's the letter L. Do you see any letter L's? Well, yeah, right away you probably see. Let me get my checker. Yeah, there's one right there. He fits exactly. If this is a right angle, what do you think about this side? You sure think so. Let's double check. Well, look at that. You were right. Now, here's an angle, and here's an angle. Do you think that that is a right angle? If I slide it up, it needs to come straight like that. He does not. This is not a right angle. Do not label it. If this is not a right angle, do you think this angle is a right angle? Let's slide it in. He would need to go up and straight across the top. Does he? No. Also not a right angle. And we have one more angle to check. Do you think this is a right angle? Well, let's slide well, look at that. If we slide our right angle checker in there, it is a right angle. So we need to label it with the right angle symbol. Okay? So, how many right angles are there? How many did you see? That's right, we saw 3. Now, trace the parallel line segments using a red crayon. Parallel, woo woo, train tracks. Parallel, woo woo, train tracks. If we were going to trace train tracks, they run side by side and they'll never crash. Let's see. These guys run side by side, but if we follow them, there's a horrible crash. Well, these 2 lines, what if we follow them? Nope. I'm looking for train tracks. Side by side, never crash. Oh, what do you think of this guy and this guy? Do they run side by side? Even if I make them taller, does it look like they're going to crash? No, they're going to run side by side and never crash. Side by side and never crash. So these are the parallel line segments. All right. Okay, won't you finish that page with Mom and then double check. That's the lesson on right angles. Remember, he's just the letter L, but he can face any way. And this is his special symbol to tell us that that is a right angle. Sometimes angles are skinnier, sometimes they are fat, but these are just right, said Goldilocks, the right angle checker. All right, thanks, first grade. That's lesson 114 in math.